Nate Hastings on The Young and the Restless hasn't had a major front-burner storyline in a while, so it's understandable that some newer fans might need a little clarification on his history in Genoa City. Nate is the son of Nathan Hastings and Olivia Winters, born back in 1995. After a series of child actors, the character was aged to an adult and played by Walter Fauntleroy in 2011 for a brief stint. Nate returned in July of 2018, portrayed by Brooks Darnell. However, as of the April 10, 2019, episode, the role was taken over by Sean Dominic. Nate was involved with drama right from the moment he was conceived. Olivia was diagnosed with ovarian cancer, but refused to abort her baby to save her own life, and in 1992, Nate Jr. was delivered early but healthy. However, after Nathan cheated on her with a woman who could have exposed them all to HIV, she threw him out of the house. They all tested negative, but Nate was so desperate to see his boy that he kidnapped Nate. After several weeks on the run, Nathan returned his son to Olivia, but was killed in a hit-and-run shortly thereafter. As Nate grew up, he grew very fond of his new father, Malcolm Winters, and was upset when Olivia broke things off with him and turned to his brother, Neil. Malcolm was further upset when Olivia changed her will so Neil Winters would raise Nate if anything happened to her. After Malcolm was presumed dead, Nate finally grew closer to Neil, but since he was drowning his sorrows over his brother in alcohol, Olivia tried to keep her son away from him as well. Nate was there to support his cousin, Lily, when Kane was presumed dead in 2011. Sean Smith/JPSstudios.com. Nate eventually went off to boarding school, and in 2008, Olivia mentioned he was in medical school. Then, in 2011, Nate resurfaced in Genoa City as Ronan Malloy's specialist, treating his liver ailment. He reconnected with his family, including Neil, Malcolm, and his cousins, Lily and Devon, but that was the extent of it. In July of 2018, Nate made a surprise appearance in Genoa City at Neil's request to secretly treat Victor Newman. He was living in Neil's penthouse where Hillary Curtis took an instant dislike to the doctor, accusing him of not being able to get a woman. Neil explained to her that Nate had been about to propose to the love of his life, Carolyn, when she died. When a pregnant Hillary was seriously injured in a car accident, Nate tried to save them both, but unfortunately, the baby died, and Hillary's injuries proved fatal. Nate has had no end of patients to save at the hospital. Jill Johnson/JPSstudios.com. Nate took over Nikki's care for her MS, and when she was hit by a car and nearly died, helped get her out of the hospital and to a safe place where she could recuperate. Nate was also there to help support Devon Hamilton when he threatened to spiral out of control following Hillary's death. The doctor was also called upon to help save Lola Rosales' life when she was assaulted and required a liver transplant. And when Victor was suffering from a potentially fatal blood disease, Nate worked to find a way to help him find a cure and navigate the dangerous side effects. The handsome physician's social life finally took a turn for the better when his friendship with Abby Newman turned into a full-blown romance. Unfortunately, Nate's relationship with Abby fizzled out and he found himself adrift for a time. He teamed up with Elena Dawson to open up a clinic to help people in town, but that remained strictly business as she was romantically linked to Devon. However, Nate later found himself drawn to newcomer Amanda Sinclair and asked the attorney out on a date. However, Nate's real feelings were for Elena, and as they continued to work closely together, they only grew. And when she opened up to him about the problems she was having with Devon, things took a turn and the co-workers slept together. Elena was racked with guilt and wanted to tell Devon what had happened, but Nate left that decision entirely in her hands. But she then decided to confess without giving Nate a heads up, so when an enraged Devon confronted him, the resulting fight left Nate with an injured hand. Not sure he'd ever be able to perform surgery again left Nate feeling it was his penance and considered leaving town to get away from the drama. Nate and Elena's relationship has been complicated, to say the least. Howard Wise/JPSstudios.com. Nate tried to build a relationship with Elena, but that fell apart when he found out she'd cheated on him with Devon. Nate dumped her, but they still had to work together, and were the ones who diagnosed a dying Ray Rosales with thallium poisoning. He also treated Faith Newman after her car accident and saved her life with a kidney transplant. When Elena saved Nate's life after he had a serious allergic reaction, he asked her not to take the job in Baltimore, and they reconciled and got back together. Imani Benedict openly flirted with Nate in front of Elena, but while flattered, he remained faithful. He was disappointed when Moses Winters changed his mind about pursuing medicine, but thrilled when he was appointed as chief of surgery at the hospital. Stay tuned to Y&R to see how Nate's story continues to unfold. Ad block test 1.